etc. And he said that women are now out here saying that, you know, don't give a man wifey behavior if he hasn't put a ring on it. Yeah?
Okay.
Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Yeah, you've heard women say that before. Yeah, like don't give a man wife, don't be a wife to him if he's just dating you.
Okay.
Right? Oh, yes, you take off the hat. No. Right?
Proper. Let me hear it properly.
You know, you sound mad low. I don't know why you sound low.
I don't know.
I pay my bills. There you go. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. So anyway, so basically, he said that women say, you know, don't give a man wife behavior if you're only dating, right? And then he was like, well, guys should do the same thing too. Then guys should not be a husband to you and treat you like a queen when you're not the queen yet. We're just dating. So for me, if you have two people who are now behaving in a minus energy. Yeah, because they're both telling you what you ain't getting until.
Yeah, but why is it like that? I don't get that. Like, the reason why I look all dressed up, right, is because I just came off of a date. Like, don't let quarantine make you feel like. Listen, we cooked our food. You get what I mean? I had a nice. I just tried to, you know, create Vapiano. So I had my gambretti spinaci.
Okay, first of all, we're supposed to be in quarantine. You don't be out here telling people what you're getting up to. Yeah.
No, but I'm in my house. I was out.
Huh? No, I know, but did Corona come in?
No, it was a virtual date. It was a virtual.
Oh, virtual.
Yeah. So look.
Okay, first of all, we need to get into that in a minute.
But why you ask? Listen, I've got my little candle. Listen, I was ready for this team.
Girl. So basically, I feel like if they're both working from a minus, the woman saying, well, I ain't giving you this until, then the man feels like, well, shit, I ain't giving you this until, yeah? Then, like, what's the point?
Yeah, there is no point. The reason why I say there's no point is because both parties are now calculated in their expression of love and affection, even if it's within a certain boundary. So for me, for example, I don't have an issue if a guy, so for example, there was one guy, we were talking about his beard, and he was just like, he was talking about his grooming process. So I said, oh, have you got one of those things that, you know, you put around your neck and then you stick it to the window, to the mirror, so that it catches all of the bits? And he's like, no, I don't have one. So I just went to Amazon and bought one. It's a minor, like I've met you one time, but because that's who I am, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna attach an outcome to that. I may never see you again, but my point is, this is who I am as an individual. So if I want to express that to you, then receive it if you're able to. And if you're not, then you're not. But I'm not going to stop being me because of how you may perceive that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to come to your house and iron your clothes. Well, I've ironed somebody's clothes before, but but it's who I am as a person.
Absolutely.
I don't attach that to me being wifely duties.
See, and that I love that answer, because I feel like the moment you jump out of your skin, it's failure. It's failure. Because you're now selling something that you won't be able to keep up, and you're now selling a person that you actually don't know.
But the question is also, Coach, yeah? And I just love that we're doing this. We've never done this before, and we're talking, this is history.
Now, my spirit was woken up this evening. The man then just called me, and we were chatting in the group, and my spirit got vexed. And I was like, no, I'm going straight to the people then, because now I can vent. Yeah? So I'm on, and I've been drinking as well. Thank you, Jesus.
But I mean, my question is, if both parties are that calculated, then what is the outcome that they're actually looking for? Because they're not going to get a positive outcome because they're both already calculated in their psyche. So where is the freedom of expression, the freedom of exploration, the freedom of getting to know each other without an agenda? Because basically what you're saying to me is, I've been hurt before, so therefore I'm not going to do X, Y, Z because I'm predicting that the outcome is going to be this. which means that both parties are living their life through a filter of their past and not actually living in the present so that they can see what their future could be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because you just spoke English. Yeah? So I'm saying though, Shells, I'm saying, I threw a guy saying that in there. I just threw it in there. But guys ain't walking around saying, oh, I'm not going to be a husband to you and to you. We don't walk around saying that because we're willing, on average, to just jump in and figure it out. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But you often hear women saying, that's it, I'm done. I ain't dating no more man. I'm celibate now, even though I've been going on with a while, I'm madness. And I'm doing, you never hear guys say that. We never ever say, I'm done with women now, that is it. It sounds ridiculous to us. So what gets you lot to a space where you know you want to be with somebody. You know you want to be with somebody. What does saying it verbally do for you? Because you're still going to go and date somebody soon.
No, it's a protective mechanism. It's some
But
women,
does it protect you though? Does it protect you?
But some women say that kind of stuff in order to stop themselves from falling in too deep. It's because they don't have their own inner personal boundaries. So they feel that verbalize it, then that's going to stop them. Do you get what I mean? But their core is distorted. So they don't have it in the boundaries. I don't need to communicate to a guy, I'm not going to do X, Y, Z. I just don't do it.
Are there any more of you out there? You have a twin?
That's all. That's it. I just don't do it. Like, I've been on this online dating thing for a hot minute. You know, I'm as single as a slice of cheese, as I like to say. But in the process of discovery, of learning about other people and learning about myself, I've learned not to attach an expectation. A lot of women and men may go into relationships from the perspective of, I'm going to see what I can get. That is somebody who has codependent tendencies and a codependent nature. Therefore, they've gone in as an addict to actually take from the person that. And when you have an addict and you have a codependent in a relationship, the addict is going to take as long as the codependent is given, and then the codependent gets resentful and says, bun out the whole of him and his whole crew. And so that's the voice of the codependent. They've gone into the relationship not to give love, but they've gone to get it. So it's not until the person is whole in themselves and understanding who they are as an individual, and that they don't need to actually go into a relationship to receive love, but to give it, that's when everything will change. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Do women, is verbalizing something, is it destructive in the grand scheme of things for women if they don't truly believe what they're saying? Or is it simply a source of comfort? Because I've had loads of women tell me, that is it, I'm done. And every time they say, I say, no, you ain't. And my fear for them is that you start saying I'm done, then you don't date no one for 5 years, and on the 6th year, you meet another idiot that you could have met immediately after your last experience.
But the thing is,
why is it that a lot of women draw to this thing, this verbalizing this thing that they really don't believe and are not even, don't even have the capacity to keep up this pretense that I don't want to be with anybody anymore? Because no one on this planet is born saying, I don't want to. Something's made you say, oh, I don't want to do that no more. We're all born to want to be with somebody.
No, but the phrase is a phrase of manipulation. They're trying to manipulate the man's emotions for him to actually change his behavior. That's what it is. It's a phrase of manipulation. So, I'm done. I'm over it. What they really say is, I'm unable to communicate what my actual needs are. So I'm going to sit on the surface. I'm going to make these statements in a hope that your behavior is going to change so that I can actually, in the relationship. So I think that when women make statements like that, it is actually a relation to try and get the man to change, rather than saying, hey, when this happens, this is how I feel, and what I need from you is this, in order for me to feel safe. They just don't have good communication tools. That's all it is.
I'm quite radical. I'm quite logical. sometimes it's not good, that mindset, because it kind of just it represents the energy of get to the point. Yeah, with logical thinkers, we have this vibe of like, the old joke of, a guy would say, "How was your day?" and the guy would be like, "Yeah, my day was cool." And you ask a woman how was the day, you got to put the kettle on, you got to change your clothes, you got to fluff up the pillows and the couch cushions and sit down and listen to 4 hours of 24 hours. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So my thing is like, what do women like? No, what do you want from a man in 2020? With the rise of the woman, which every decent human being is supporting, and we want women to get their just dues and what they deserve, because that's just ridiculous. That's just one of many things that are ridiculous that actually go on in the world. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But like, I'm not gonna lie. At times, I feel like, especially in 2020, you can't say nothing to the woman no more. Everything's sexual harassment. Everything's disrespectful. Everything's, oh my gosh. And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, at 40 years old, you're going to tell me to be someone that I've not been raised like. I've grown up in a world where that was my norm. And then now it's like, I can't compliment a woman now because it's out of order. The man, I feel like, is struggling to find their new default settings in this environment, because our default settings are how we was raised and the era that we grew up in.
Sure.
Yeah, let's not act like we're going to get rid of that.
Are you talking about our generation speaking to millennials? Because we're 40 now. Like, I'm coming up 40. You're 40. Are you talking about speaking to people our same age group? Or are you talking about speaking to millennials? Because I think millennials have a different mindset. We're not millennial. We just missed it. So
I think the drama isn't really coming from the young ones, because they're not. I'm not talking about young ones because they haven't got nothing to lose yet. Yeah, okay. They've got a lot of time to waste. Yeah, of course. People who got war wounds, because they're the ones that will go around saying, I heard some young girls saying, "That's it, I'm done," because of what's around them. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And maybe their mom's saying, "Well, shit, I'm gonna school you on what I went through, so you don't go through it." And that little girl was like, "Yeah, I listen to you, mum, but I want to go through it myself."
But the thing is, a broken woman cannot teach another woman how to be whole.
Hold on. I just want that to sit there for a little while, because I already know that just hit some women in the chest that are in this group right now. I just want that to marinate for a little while, because I need you to repeat that again, please.
A broken woman cannot school another woman.
That means your mama and your grandmama.
What she's doing is she's just duplicating her dysfunction in somebody else through a filter of somebody else's experience. So you can't. A broken woman can't teach another woman to be whole. So the real question is, are we taking enough time to actually look at ourselves? And because of course, I've been through my issue in my life, but I didn't allow myself to camp in that place. I did the inner work to become who I am today, so that when I do have my children, I can actually communicate what healthy, whole womanhood looks like. In this day and age, we have, we're going back to the question about like, what do I want? I want a man who knows how to respect me and honor me as much as I'm able to respect and honor him. But a man has to give me something to be able to respect. If you disrespect me, then how can I respect you? In the same way that for men, they hear "I love you" through the filter of respect. I appreciate that. And even though that's not how I receive love, I can respect that about a man. So I will do what I can do with my words, with my actions, to communicate, hey, I respect you. In the same way, I want a man, if a man's going to compliment me, like, do it with class. Like, I've had men on online dating think that it's okay to show me their organs and ejaculate on video. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like that, and you're a big grown man, let's stop it. And you just get blocked, go to the block party, and you're done. But on the other hand, there's another guy who will say, do you know what? You're beautiful. You've got beautiful eyes. I like that kind of stuff.
somebody paying attention.
The current of it isn't sexual, it's not seedy, it's genuine. So for me, I want a guy who's authentic. Even if he's having a crap day, just be real with it. I don't want all of the connotations and me. I don't want to burn brain calories trying to figure out what man's saying to me. Just say it straight. Right? You get what I mean? I'm not interested in the brain calorie burning. Like, I'm not. I want to burn calories on my stomach, not my brain.
I think we was talking in the group about men and why we lack emotion, yeah. And then as men, we was talking about it, and that's why I love my boys, because we have these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
And basically, we wanted to ask. Not necessarily we wanted to ask, but we came up with this whole thing of like, we are emotional. We're emotional to our mothers. Our mothers have seen us cry. Our mothers have seen us at our worst. So we are able to be emotional to a woman, right? The issue here is, are women creating the environment that allows us to naturally feel like we can? Don't tell me.
No, I don't believe that we are.
This is what I'm just saying. Like, don't tell me, oh yeah, but you can talk to me. Like, don't tell me it.
No, listen.
Create the environment that allows me to believe that if I cry, you ain't gonna laugh at me.
Thank you.
Or you're not going to go, oh my gosh, this ass okay, we started fucking crying, this pussy started crying.
Right.
Because those people exist, and it's not like they don't exist. So one of those people existing will turn 1,000 men away from even thinking that they can be emotional around their woman.
Well, this is what I think, and I said this to somebody the other day. Do not build trust with your words and then tear it down with your actions. Like, don't. Because a lot of us, men and women, we will build trust with our words, but then our actions actually end up tearing down the very thing that we was building. So then we become a person that is seen as not a safe place. And I say to people, in every single reaction, in every single interaction that you have with a human being, whether it's online or offline, you're creating personal history. So you have to be mindful of that. So I was saying, I don't think, and I was actually thinking about this morning, where there's a video of me on YouTube apologizing to men for women disrespecting them, dishonoring them, and making them feel like they're not worthy, and all of that. It's got so many views, and there's so many men on there that's commented saying, this apology is too late. I'm a man that's gone the other way. All of this, and it was fascinating to me that so many men have felt betrayed by women. And I've said to women, women, we can't expect or request from a man that he be something. Oh, you'll cuss him out and say that he's good for nothing, but yet still you want him to tend to your needs. How are you as a woman creating an environment for him to be vulnerable, for him to strip away all of the cares of the world and actually show his true raw self and actually get nurturing from a woman? A woman's supposed to nurture, right? How are we creating that space for men to feel safe to actually do that, so they can get their issues, at least listen to, whether it's worked out or listened to? And I don't think a lot of us women have the capacity to create safe spaces for men to be vulnerable.
I would like to believe that women do have the capacity. I just feel like some women just don't feel like that's not my job. That's not my job to do that. And you know what? Whoa, what's that say? Save people.
This book is a really, really good book. This book called How to Find Relationships That Are Good for You. Because you can see you can recognize narcissistic tendencies. You can understand about the codependent. You can understand if you yourself are a safe person, because you might think you are, but you've got tendencies which you're not.
Yeah, that's real. Like I don't know. I just feel like the man, for me, I'm looking at relationships and I'm thinking, where's the bit about me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the bit about me? Like, I will turn around now and say, I have never, ever in my life dated with purpose. Never. I've dated emotionally. Emotionally, to me, means that I have seen somebody and I fell in love with what they can be.
Oh, potential.
Yeah,
So you fell in love with potential.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I fell in love with what I see this person's future, what I believe they can be, and what often happens is this person doesn't even see that in themselves.
Yeah.
So there's only one person who's excited about your future because you ain't even thinking about who you want to be or who you want to become. But I see your characteristics and I'm thinking, wow, like this girl's going to be great. This girl's going to be great because that's what you sold me. What you sold me is what I'm working with. So I'm like, this girl's going to be great. And then when you start to not see that in yourself, then you become a burden to what I've got going on. Then you become something that's slowing my train down. And then what ends up happening is I start to question, am I happy? Is my happiness is still intact? And if it ain't, that's the only thing I will never sacrifice for anybody.
Yeah, you can't.
Like when you're on the plane and they say, you know, put your mask on before you help your child.
Yeah.
Because if you cannot breathe, who you helping?
Who you helping? Nothing. Yeah, yeah.
Right? So your happiness, this is for anybody listening, your happiness should never be sacrificed for any living person because you cannot give anything from an empty cup. You can't.
Can I say this? Like, saying that you've never dated on purpose.
With purpose.
Like, I always tell people, like, if marriage is your goal, then you're in trouble already, because that essentially should be the starting point, not the end goal. Because
Absolutely.
Marriage is two destinies coming together to do greater things, right? So if you are seeking somebody for the sake of just marriage and just to have the ring and just to be that, then I'm really nervous for you. In terms of purpose, that I think, and I say to people, I'm looking for a purpose partner. That's what I'm looking for. I know what I've been building. I know what I've been stewarding. I know what I can give, what I can bring to the table.
You know your capacity.
I know my capacity, but I also know what I need. So when I'm going into this and when I'm doing all of these different dates, I'm going in there to see, one, do you have vision? Because I know that I'm an incubator and I'm going to 10x your vision. Whatever you're telling me that you're doing or want to do, I know that the minute it hits my table, I can 10x that because I'm sure about that in myself.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm going to want to know, does this man have the capacity to give love and receive love? I need to know that because I'm a lover and I'm going to love unconditionally and I'm going to love with 110%. Are you able to receive that? Because if you're not able to receive that, then we're going to have problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely. There's been times when I haven't been in the frame of mind to receive that and the person's actions were beautiful, but because I wasn't ready, they became jarring to me. They became an interruption. They became do you know what I mean? And they're not doing nothing wrong. It's just that they're forcing the issue when I'm not there. What I was gonna ask you was about marriage, men and marriage. Because like what I like about my boys, is that we're quite frank. And sometimes I think part of communication is to deliver a message to that individual that to obtain the best results.
Sure.
So you can say the same thing to different people in many different ways because some people are harder ears, so you got to say, yo, big man, and some people just hear quickly, and various people, you know, some people you got to make them laugh first or whatever, you know, like there's many different ways to obtain the point, you know, whatever it is that you want from that situation. So we were talking about marriage, and this is quite frank. This is quite frank. This isn't about what you want it to sound like or what men should be saying or that's effed up or whatever. But it's like now guys are like, but if we didn't have to get married, bro, I prefer not to. I prefer not to because society's made all of this. It's love until you break up. It's love. You've never heard the saying, hell have no theory like a man scorned.
Yeah.
You've never heard of that. Why? Because yes, we get heartbroken. Yes, we go through pain, but we're gonna move on. And I know there's gonna be 1,000 women that say, listen, guys have brought stuff that's happened to them in their relationships and all the other stuff. And I will tell you, ladies, yeah, most of that's bullshit. Yeah, most guys get over things very, very quickly. If they're feeding that to you, you ain't the one. You ain't the one. Yes, some guys have been hurt, but the average man, we don't hold on to it that long.
But is it that they don't hold on to it, or is it that they've suppressed their emotions?
They've suppressed
and
it.
Then it comes,
They've
and then
suppressed
it
it.
comes out in a different way. Because one of the things that I've noticed is that some men, especially if they are the ones that's been hurt by the woman, what then happens is they turn into, and they start to exhibit what's called eroticized rage. Yeah. And it's where if somebody of opposite genders hurt them, they will turn that around and then they start to give that out to other people. So classic story, girl meets guy, they fall in love, the woman cheats, they end up breaking up, then he becomes this guy that just starts to just press out every girl in a hackney, you know.
Right. Hold on, first of all, why is it gonna be hackney though? Why is it gonna be hackney?
Because the thing is, I can't say Windsor. Like,
no, you know,
Windsor people on the streets. Like,
yeah, they won't believe it. They won't believe it. Do you know what? Yeah,
these Windsor people, they're not gonna be like that.
Do you know what? Yeah, to give you a little bit of truth here. So in my book that I've just finished, my autobiography, it's called All Jokes Aside, and it's gonna be coming soon.
Congrats.
There's a big chapter, right?
Yeah.
Called Fuck It.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's the chapter, and I've called it that because I feel like that's the honest name for that chapter. Yeah? There's no other name for it. Yeah? So Christians still get the book, but it's in there.
Yeah, come on, I'll be buying that. I'll be buying
because those are the two words that I said the moment I got my heart broken. When I got my heart broken for the very first time, those were the two words that I said. And I went on a I do not care rampage. I don't care how you feel about me. I was that confident that this is what I'm telling you, this is what it is. So you all of that, he told me this, I'm taking all that away from you. You ain't even gonna be able to say all of that. I'm taking all these excuses that you're gonna come with at the end. I'm telling you, this ain't about nothing but sex. So I went through that rage because I suppressed the pain. I suppressed the emotion, I suppressed the pain. And now my thing is, the next person, you ain't hurting me. You ain't hurting me. I know that. I'm sweet with that. You ain't hurting me because I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. So now, because I'm not allowing you to hurt me, I'm also not even feeling.
Yeah. Because the thing with emotions, though, which is really interesting, is you think that you're suppressing pain, like, you're suppressing this emotion, and it's the negative kind. But you're also suppressing the positive kind because the brain is unable to differentiate between happy and sad. Do you get what I mean? So ultimately, you're actually setting yourself up for depression. Do you get what I mean? Because it's just like you'll be in a downward spiral of feeling depressed emotions.
Well, exactly. Well, what ended up happening was after that spree, I became very hateful towards women, and it even happened in my comedy. All these jokes that I was coming with, I was going in on women like heavy. Wow. Now listen, they were laughing, but they didn't know the undercurrent. They didn't know where it was coming from. I knew where it was coming from, and then I'm just like, I got to the point where I'm like, but Coach, you're not the bad man like that. You're not this. You're not like that to women. You've been raised right. You know right from wrong. You came from a good home. A great woman raised you. So now I'm angry because you know what? I've seen the guys that women go for, they're disrespecting them.
Yeah.
They're disrespecting them. Because I was once that guy that women will call and go, oh my gosh, yeah, man, he's just doing it again, rare. And I'm sitting there like, but I'm a good guy. Like, I wouldn't treat you like that. I'm sitting there, I'm being 100. I would not treat you like that. Yeah, I'm that guy now. I wouldn't treat you like that guy. But you know what it is? You talk to me, but you go and give him the love. You go and give him your heart. You go and give that guy your love. So then I was like, I'm tired of being that dickhead. I'm tired of being the guy that's giving you the ears and not getting nothing else, or your heart or nothing else. So now, guess what? I'm going to be Tyrone. Yeah? I couldn't think of another name.
It's because they haven't had a lot of women, because of their life, and men, because of their life experience, they're able to absorb dysfunctional love, but not pure love.
Yeah.
They have no grid for what true love actually feels like and what it looks or what it looks like. So when they start to feel it, it becomes a case of them going into what's called cognitive dissonance. So basically, it's just like, this is all I've known, but something pure is coming. I don't know how to handle it. So there's this tension in between. This is what I really want, but I'm too afraid to go for it because it's going to require more of me. And this is what I'm used to. So let me do that. And if they do obtain that other love, if they get courageous and take it, if they don't do the consistent work, then they're going to self-sabotage. And then they're going to just break down the relationship because they have to get out because it's too intoxicating for them. Does that make sense? And I think men do the same thing as well. Men actually do the same thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. I just want to throw this very quickly.
Yeah.
Women who continue with this men do it too thing. If somebody clamps your car and the car behind you ain't got a clamp, guess what? You still got to pay that fine.
Yes.
You still got to pay for the pay. You can go to them and say, how come that car didn't get clapped? You still got to pay the fine. So stop worrying about what the other sex do too, because that's not going to help your situation. The only thing is that if you're doing it, you need to focus on stopping it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because this men do it too, or women do it too, doesn't help you. Every time you say it, how does it help your situation? Are you validating your bullshit because men do it too? Or are you going to say, do you know what? I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about, because I see comments saying, all people are typing is, men do it too, men do it too. They're not listening.
I think it's coming from a place of, it's not gender specific, but it's more universal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
I hear that. But I feel like but I can't go around saying, well, how come he got paid X, Y, and Z and I didn't get paid X, Y, and Z? I got to do? I got to fix how I negotiate.
Sure.
I got to concentrate on me, because if I want better for myself, I've got to go earn better for myself.
Sure.
And that's the point that I'm making. But I don't walk around here saying, oh, well, they do it too, and it doesn't help me. How does that help me as an individual running with that narrative of everybody does it? I don't care what everybody else does. I'm trying to fix my heart, and I'm trying to fix my scenario in my house and pay my bills. And back to my point about the chapter, like when I got to that place when I realized that I'm not that guy, and I was angry at women, and this is what I was saying to you about going in a very angry space with women when I was doing my shows, was because I saw it as women have now made me have to be this guy. And I'm telling you, I was getting success by being a prick. But in the actual fact, it wasn't the success that my default Kojo wanted. Yeah, so it wasn't success.
That's not even who you are. Like
but this is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't success. Yeah. But because I thought I had to be this to get X, Y, and Z, I've now become someone else who I'm not really. Yeah. And because I know if I go back to he's going to get mugged off. He's going to get mugged off. We've all been raised with be a man up, be a man. You got girls in a relationship that look at their man and go, man up, man, be a man. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Be a man, but then where? Where in 2020 can I be a man? What's a man now?
But what does being a man even mean? Because like masculinity.
I understood. Hold on. I understood. Everybody, every man knew what being a man was until everything changed.
Okay.
You hear what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
When everything changed, it got blurry. We could have answered 10 years ago, oh, be a man. What's a man? Because we've been told, go and do this, go and do that, organize this. You're the leader, blah, blah, blah. We've been told that. Now, we don't know what a man is anymore. We don't know what a man is anymore. We don't want to know what a man's supposed to do. So that's why I asked, what do women want now? What is a man supposed to do now? What is his responsibility now? And don't say this in terms of just as an individual, because there's 1,000 women that want the total opposite. And from what I'm seeing with
personally,
the whole,
me personally, what I want.
No. Try and think from a, because if we sit here about personally, then now what's a man supposed to think? I've just got to keep dating everybody until I find the one.
No,
is there a common thing that women want?
I don't think there is, because every woman lives from her own experience and her own level of maturity. Before, so say 20 years ago, when this whole idea of submission, you know, of course, I believe in God. I'm very big on, you know, the Jesus wagon. Like I'm big for that. And this whole idea of submitting, I was like, I ain't submitting to no man. What are you talking to? Like that, like I was straight Tottenham. Do you get what I mean? Like, who, me? Submit to what? Like, because my example of that was distorted. Yeah. Since then to now, I've learned about what true submission is. And it's not that it's just for a woman to submit to a man how we're taught, but it's about mutual submission. The woman is required to submit to the man is also required to submit to the woman. But because people are looking at it through their ego and pride, they're unable to actually accept it. Now that I've learned what it actually is and I don't walk in that place of pride, my thing for me now is what I want is a man who can lead me, even though I'm strong, even though, yes, I've got 2 companies, even though
you're a leader, even though you're a leader in your own right. Yes.
Yeah, I want a man that is able to see my strength, to see my power, but not be intimidated by that, still be able to love me and lead me at the same time as me submitting to him, respecting him, still being able to nurture the things that need to be nurtured as a woman to a guy. Those are the things that I'm looking for. That's what I need.
Do you know what's funny? Every man will tell you this. Every man. A woman, this is what's funny. A woman has always led the household.
Yep.
They just let the man feel like he was the leader. And if you're a real woman, you would know that. But today's woman is like, nah, blood, no, you can't. And it's like, well, hold on. My mom led in quiet. She led quietly. Let my mom go away for the weekend.
Lead from the back. Lead from the back. You don't have to lead from the front.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Like lead from the, you know, when you lead from the back, you know what? You can see everything. If you lead from the front, what you got to do? You got to keep looking over your shoulder.
No, if you're leading from the front and nobody's following you, you're just walking. That's it.
Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. You're leading from the front and no one's following you. You're walking.
Just walking.
But I'm saying, like, my aunt, she was in the house. We all knew, let her say I'm going to sleep, you get vexed. Oh, what we gonna? The house is not the same when a woman ain't there. We all know that. We all know that. Your dad might be loud and think that he's the man or whatever. Let us have that. Give us that. It doesn't matter.
No, but the thing is, look, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. The neck is in control of which way the head goes. When a woman,
this is what I'm trying to say.
In the confidence of that, you're cool.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But now it's like, no, I don't need nothing from you. I don't need nothing from nobody.
I actually need a lot from a guy.
But that's because you're grown. That's because you're grown. And there's 40-year-old people that ain't grown, Shirley. They're not grown.
It's
yeah,
true.
they're not grown, and the thought of growing up makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why I sing my age to people. That's why I'm not a fan of this whole, oh, don't ask a woman her age. Why?
Yeah. No, come on, talk the things.
Why?
Talk the things. Yeah, yeah.
What is all of this? Don't ask a woman her age bullshit. Grow up.
Yeah.
And enjoy being another day older. There's people that are not waking up tomorrow, and here you go talking about, I don't want to talk about my age. Shut up. Being a 40-year-old woman twerking. Shut
What's
up.
that? Who does that?
Shut up.
40-year-olds. No, come on.
I'm scared. I am scared of today's mothers. I'm scared because I don't even know what their parents' evening must be like. Imagine parents' evening now at school and man's following your mum.
Wow.
The man them's following your mum. Hey, bro, is that your mum? Yeah, yeah, bro. I was like in her DMs yesterday. This is what we're dealing with, bro. This is what we're dealing with. So I'm just saying, look at this one. What's wrong with twerking? And she can't even spell it right. You see what I'm trying to say? This is what I'm talking about. What is wrong with tweaking? This is what I'm talking about. All I'm saying is that celebrate life, innit? Celebrate life. If you've got women walking around here saying, don't ask me my age, that means you're immature.
It's true.
Grow up.
It's true. I've never had ageism issues. Not until I turned 39. Like 39, I had a little bit of a meltdown in my kitchen. But I promised myself that when I turn 40, I'm not going to be going through that. And so far, so good. I actually feel great. I turned 40 in 9 days. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like I'm stepping into just a new era. I'm really excited about that. You know, it's just a different season for me. And I don't think...
You know what? I'm 40 and the stuff that I know now, all I think about is... Yeah, like it's like I look at things and I think, damn, man, if I'd known this when I was younger, I would have been a miserable person. You know why? Because I would have known too much. I wouldn't have had no fun. I wouldn't have had nothing. It's okay to be young and reckless. When you get to 40, you got to explain yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody can have fun in their 20s and 30s. You don't get no credit for having a wild life in 20 and 30. You don't even need no money in your 20 and 30s to have a good life. 40, you got to explain yourself.
Yeah.
You're dating at 40, you better come with it. You show me what you got. You've been there for 40 years and you ain't got nothing to show me.
But the thing is, I don't know necessarily that it's about anything. Are you talking about material stuff or are you talking about like what do you mean?
No, I'm not talking about having material belongings. I'm talking about what are you sitting? Yeah, character. Like what are you saying in? Show me what you've learned in your behavior.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like show
me how have you evolved, how have you changed.
I don't want you should not sound like a 20-year-old.
Sure.
You shouldn't. And for me, that's a big issue if you have. And yes, everyone's gone through their own experiences in life. But you know what? Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a book to tell. Everyone's been through some deep shit. Everybody. Nobody here is special where your story is more. My story is not more important than anyone else's. But I found a place so I can a place in my life where I can now share it.
Sure.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? My story isn't better or worse than anybody else's.
Sure.
But I've got to a place where I can share it.
While we're on the topic of your book, I want to say, I'm not going to cry. Why? Just don't be emotional right now.
Don't cry, man. Be a G for Tottenham, remember?
For Tottenham, yeah, come on, back in the day, come
on.
No, but I have to say, Coach, like almost every time I speak to you, I just tell you how proud I am because I've seen the journey for you know, of course on the online parts, but even before that, and then you know more recently since we've reconnected, and just to see you actually just really, because it's been the last time we spoke about the book was maybe a year ago, isn't it?
Yeah,
with the podcast, isn't it? And just to see you pushing and still continuing, and like it's practically almost here. I'm just so proud of you, like for just being courageous enough to sit down and confront the darkness, to evolve the darkness, to push through to owning your, not just knowing the truth for yourself, but for owning the story to the degree that you're now able to say, I own this, and now I'm going to share this with the world. It takes a deep level of self-compassion and a deep level of grace and a deep level of courage to actually be able to do that. So, you know, I mean, of course, I understand the process of writing a book, and it is not easy. And to know that you have placed that all in there for us to read, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you know, me, I'm just in my little corner in Windsor, but you're global. So the level of exposure and vulnerability is going to be a lot different from what I may experience. And I'm just seeing how, from your perspective, how much of a big deal it must be. So I just want to, as your friend that's loved you from 91 to now, I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate that. I think do you know what was scary? What was scary about the book is as I was writing it, I found out things myself.
Yeah.
That I didn't, like, there's certain things, like I won't say it now, but like